When young Australian Aborigines come of age, they set out alone into the wilderness on a walkabout as a rite of passage into adulthood. Using only their wits, skills, and knowledge, they must assume responsibility for their own lives in order to survive. Walkabout House is a transition home with a mentoring program for young adults on the spectrum who want to get out on their own, to start their own walkabout, but could use some help in making their way through this rite of passage. In the United States during the 1970s, roughly 1 in 10,000 children were diagnosed with autism. This rate of diagnosis has risen rapidly since then, and earlier this year, the Centers for Disease Control reported that it's up to 1 in 68 children. Roughly 2 million individuals in the United States have autism. The vast majority of these individuals are young because of the rapid rise in recent decades. It's estimated that 80% of the autistic population of the United States is under 22 years of age, and more than 50,000 children on the spectrum reach adulthood each year. What happens to this population when they become adults? As we can see in this pie chart, one study found that 71% of high-functioning adults diagnosed with Asperger's continue to live with their parents or guardians and do not achieve independence. In this study, only 9% of high-functioning adults on the spectrum achieved independent living. We believe that many more could become independent and self-sufficient with a little help in getting started. Our mission at Walkabout House is to provide guidance in a safe, family-like learning environment to young adults on the spectrum striving to achieve greater independence. We do this by supporting the development of basic life skills and social communication skills through an apprenticeship program with guidance from full-time live-in mentors. These mentors will use everyday living experiences to develop basic life skills like healthy eating, exercise, good hygiene, financial planning, and using public transportation. Our apprenticeship program is based on research into how families in different cultures around the world prepare their children to be successful members of society. The lead researcher, Barbara Rogoff, Ph.D., describes her findings this way. Children's cognitive development is an apprenticeship. It occurs through guided participation in social activity with companions who support and stretch children's understanding of and skill in using the tools of culture. The first step in guided participation is to build bridges between what the apprentice already knows and the new information to be learned. Mentors then structure and support the learning experience to guide efforts by each apprentice, making the experience challenging but not so difficult as to frustrate the learning process. As they gain proficiency, responsibility for managing these efforts is transferred to the apprentice. Our goal is to help each resident start a successful career path and find a meaningful social life. We start by offering part-time employment at the Walkabout House to each resident when they move in, and use this job as an opportunity for learning many of the important aspects of being a good employee. When the resident is ready, we also support their efforts in job searching, submitting job applications, and interviewing skills. Ultimately, success at Walkabout House will be measured by the number of residents who achieve greater independence. To help reach this goal, an Individual Support Plan, or ISP, will be prepared for each resident. Progress will be assessed and used to refine each resident's ISP as needed to optimize learning experiences. We will also use these assessments to continuously improve our programs based on the evidence. Our current understanding of autism is limited, and there are many approaches to helping this population. Walkabout House will establish a research program with neuroscientists and clinicians to evaluate our approach. Objective data will be collected along with the subjective results measuring each resident's progress toward independence. This research program will be used to inform us about how to further develop our approach. The founder of Walkabout House is Brad Fowler. Brad is a medical researcher with over 30 years in the medical device industry and is an inventor on 23 issued patents. He has a master's degree in neuroscience and a bachelor's degree in biology and physics. Brad has devoted the past several years to researching autism from the perspective of a neuroscientist, and this work has culminated in the Walkabout House project. Brad is responsible for development of the support programs and will co-manage Walkabout House with his partner, Debbie. Walkabout House has two program partners, Barbara Avila and Debbie Hogan. Barbara is a certified clinical consultant and sole owner of the Synergy Autism Center in Portland, Oregon. Using the most up-to-date and evidence-based approaches with her clients, she helps parents determine what is best for their child. She gives parents the tools they need to optimally guide and support their children. Barbara will consult with the live-in staff at Walkabout House to help them guide residents toward independence. Debbie is a certified nursing assistant and has worked for years as a caregiver for young children and seniors. She has raised a son diagnosed with Asperger's and will use her extensive experience for teaching basic life skills at Walkabout House. Debbie will co-manage Walkabout House with Brad. We appreciate your interest in Walkabout House. If you have any questions about Walkabout House, please send email to brad@walkabouthouse.com.